Jamani mimi nina kuku kwa hiyo mnaweza mkapata kuku kutoka kwangu. Jamani, is this thing cool? Is this thing cool? Okay, asante sana Aisha. Na swali la mwisho nadhani makofi kwa Aisha. So tunakwenda 1 big, 2 big, 3 big. Yeah.
Karibu. Asante. Wakubwa shikamooni. Wanafunzi wenzangu mambo zenu. Kwa jina naitwa Husna Abdalla, natokea Kawe. Swali langu nilikuwa nataka niulize Kitonga. Mimi ni mwanafunzi, nimehitimu, nimesomea biology. Je, ni kazi gani ambayo naweza nikapata
kwa kusoma biology?
Kwa kusoma biology.
Hebu tumuulize Kitonga hapo. Mimi ni mwanafunzi ninasomea biolojia, mwanafunzi ninasoma biology. Nisaidie kujua aina ya kazi ninaweza kufanya nisaidie kujua kazi ninaweza kufanya kwa elimu niliyoipata katika biolojia. Kwa wale ambao mnafanya diet, kuna wataalamu wa diet, kuna mtu anaitwa Mama Rishe AI ndani ya Kitonga. Kwa hiyo unaweza kumomba ushauri wa kuplan diet yako, unaweza kumomba ushauri wa kuandaa mpangilio wa chakula, anything that you are comfortable to ask Kitonga AI. Kitonga AI can do some amazing stuff. As you can see, it's just 3 seconds you have your answer straight. And for Apple users, soon this week, by the end of this week, probably it will be on the big platform. Mnaona jamani, majibu sasa yamekuja hapa. Nasema asante kwa kuuliza swali lako kwa elimu yako ya biolojia. Kuna fursa nyingi. Mmoja unaweza kuwa mtaalamu wa mazingira, 2 mtaalamu wa afya, 3 mtaalamu wa lishe, 4 mtaalamu wa bioteknolojia, 5. Na kila jibu ambalo limeulizwa hapo, una kitu labda unaweza ku Kanogewa jamani huyu.
Nataka tena niulize Kitonga. Nawezaje kupata hiyo ajira, labda kuwa mwalimu wa biology, mtaalamu wa lishe?
Je, nawezaje kupata ajira hizi? Naishi Tanzania? Sawa, hujamwambia, kwa hiyo atakuletea kazi mbalimbali. So majibu ni hayo, naomba uyasome mwenyewe. Unaweza kusoma.
Jenga ujuzi na maarifa yako. Jenga mtandao. Tuma maombi ya kazi. Jitolee au fanya mafunzo ya ziada. Tafiti na uwe na ufahamu wa soko la ajira.
Na hebu soma sentence ya mwisho kabisa hiyo.
Ya chini Kumbuka kuwa kupata ajira inaweza kuchukua muda wa jitihada. Ni muda kuwa uvumilivu na kuendelea kujifunza na kujiendeleza ili kuongeza nafasi yako ya kupata ajira katika uwanja wa biology.
Makofi tena. 1 big, 2 big, 3 big. Jamani, I hope mmeona jinsi Kitonga AI inaweza kufanya kazi. Sasa hii mimi ni swali langu binafsi. Najua mko kwenye age fulani. Hebu mclose huyo ndugu. Close chat. Twende kwa Dr. Maria. Dr. Maria, relationship coach. Nyie watoto nyie huko nyuma. Twende kwa relationship coach, muulize hivi. Au basi, ngoja tuishie hapo kwa leo. Haya, vitu vya kuzingatia. Vitu vya kuzingatia. Ninapoanza mahusiano, au sio? Najua kuna watu mtaenda kuuliza, nikichitiwa nifanyaje Kitonga? Kweli Dr. Maria atakujibu. Na atakujibu ushauri sahihi, kwa sababu unaweza kuwa unamogopa mama yako muda huo kumwambia bwana kuna 1 2 3, lakini Kitonga AI tuko kukwambia kuwa unaweza kuuliza na ni siri yako. Kwa hiyo utamuuliza pale, atakupa ushauri, na ushauri ambao atakupa Dr. Maria ni ushauri ambao unaweza kukuta hata mzazi wako anaweza asikupe. Kwa hiyo unafikiria kuwa kwenye mahusiano au uko kwenye mahusiano au huko unasoma shule, kuna kitu kinakutatiza, kitu cha kwanza unaweza ukaanza kutumia kitonga. Kwa hiyo swali letu hapo anasema unapoanza mahusiano kuna mambo kadhaa muhimu ya kuzingatia ili kujenga msingi imara na kuweka mwelekeo sahihi. Hapa kuna vitu 5 vya kuzingatia. Vitu vingapi? Cha kwanza, cha pili, siwasiki. Hapo nimewasikia. Cha tatu, cha nne, mnauelewa nyinyi watoto? Sawa. Cha tano, yes, na nimalizie kwa kusema mawasiliano hujenga mahusiano. Turudie pamoja, mawasiliano hujenga, mawasiliano hujenga. Asante sana. Unaweza ukaclose Kitonga AI. Kwa hiyo mnaweza mkaandika kwenye notebook zenu, ukaandika tu www.kitongaai.com, kitongaai.com. Kwa hiyo kama unatumia simu, kama unatumia Android, unaweza ukaingia Google Play Store, ukaandika tu tayari Google Play Store tayari ipo, ukaandika Kitonga AI, ukapakua kwenye simu yako, ukalogin na account yako ya Gmail, boom, unaanza kutumia Kitonga. Na labda una swali la darasani, umepewa assignment, unaweza kukaa pale sijui x jumlisha ngapi. Na najua mnafuatilia Instagram, ingieni kwenye ukurasa wa Kitonga AI Instagram, kule tunaachilia video za namna sasa ya kutumia Kitonga, kwa sababu najua ni teknolojia mpya na tunahitaji kuwafundisha ili muweze kuwa wabobevu katika matumizi ya AI. Asanteni. Karibu moderator.
Asante sana. Kwanza nikupongeze sana. It's a really great AI.
Thank you.
Sasa ningependa kujua like the reason behind you creating Kitonga AI.
Sababu kubwa sana ya kwa nini nimetengeneza Kitonga, nadhani kwenye maelezo ambayo nitatoa pia kwenye keynote speech nitaelezea kwa kina, lakini sababu kubwa, tuko katika karne ya taarifa na ubora wa taarifa ulizonazo utaamua uwe nani. Sawa? Nitatolea mfano hapa. Wangapi tunataka kuwa madaktari? Okay, makofi kwa watu ambao mnataka kuwa madaktari, kwa sababu ajira zipo nyingi sana za madaktari. Unataka kuwa daktari. Nikichukua mtu mmoja hapa, sawa, nikaita wachungaji, mashehe, nikamwambia muombee huyu awe daktari. Alafu nikamchukua mtu mmoja nikampeleka Muhimbili miaka 5 akapewa taarifa za udaktari. Kati ya A na B, nani anakuwa daktari? Nani anakuwa daktari? Kwa nini? Maombi yamemfanya huyu mtu awe daktari? Kilichomfanya awe daktari ni nini? Taarifa, elimu, sawa? Kwa hiyo chochote ambacho wewe hupo siku ya leo ni matokeo ya taarifa ulizonazo. Kwa hiyo ukipewa taarifa sahihi zinakutengenezea maarifa yaliyo sahihi, na mwisho wa siku unazalisha matokeo yaliyo sahihi. Ukiwa na taarifa zisizo sahihi utakuwa na maarifa yasiyo na hautazalisha matokeo yaliyo. Kwa hiyo tumetengeneza Kitonga AI kwa ajili ya kufikisha taarifa sahihi katika mikono ya Watanzania kwa lugha nyepesi. Kwa Kiswahili unaweza kuuliza kwa Kiswahili, kwa Kiingereza unataka kujifunza Kifaransa, Kitonga AI unaweza ukajifunza lugha. Kwa hiyo hakuna barrier tena ya language, na najua kwa sisi wa Tanzania changamoto yetu kubwa ilikuwa ni kweli tuna nia ya kujifunza, lakini taarifa nyingi zipo kule ni za ile lugha ambayo ilikuja na boti, kama dada zangu walipokuwa wakisema hapo awali. Nadhani nimekujibu.
Asante sana. I want to go kwenye theme ya leo. Tuko kwenye women in ICT.
Yes.
Sasa Kitonga AI inaweza ikanisaidia mimi, like maybe I want to learn mambo ya tech. Can it help me?
Yes.
Can it help me even write a code?
Okay, thank you for the question. So for the women who are in ICT, Kitonga is good for you. Maybe mtakuwa mfahamu, mimi ni engineer kwenye computer, sawa? Kwa hiyo kwa wale ambao mnataka kujifunza programming, mnataka kujifunza code, kwenye Kitonga AI kuna sehemu mtaona imeandikwa Kitonga Code. So kwenye hii Kitonga Code unaweza kujifunza programming kwa lugha nyepesi kabisa. Yaani hata hapo ukimuuliza mkoa mwenyewe tu anaweza kukufundisha kutengeneza website. Mkoa anaweza kukufundisha jinsi ya kuwa designer. Mkoa anaweza kukufundisha jinsi ya kuandika proposal. Mkoa anaweza kukufundisha chochote. Kwa hiyo hata code pia mkoa anaweza kukusaidia.
Okay, my last question itakuwa, how can AI for business drive digital transformation, inclusivity, and sustainability? Okay, in answering this question, maybe I should just welcome you for your keynote speech. Then afterwards, I would like to welcome Tukupala. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I just decided, because of the interest of time, we have to keep it short, so I was requested to do a keynote speech on how we can transform, how AI can transform digital, like can bring digital transformation. And can I just use this mic? Okay. Thank you. I was about to ask Kitonga how to switch on the mic. Jamani, elimu haina? Yeah, tunaendelea kujifunza. So, ladies and few gentlemen in the building, I would love to speak on the subject that I've been asked to speak on, the power of AI. I will mix English and Swahili so that each and everyone can understand, but I will just go straight to the topic, how these imaging technologies can transform business, can bring inclusiveness, and can make our business being sustainable. So in the talk that I'll talk, I will include everything in one. So the first thing that artificial intelligence can do in business, I remember 10 years ago is when I started a company. That is 10 years ago. When I started the company, I was, very energetic, but, starting a company in Tanzania, there is a lot of things that you should be aware. And the first thing that as a startup, everyone who wants to start a business, there is always one biggest problem, and that is cost of operations. There is always time consuming, and you are new to the game, you lack a lot of experiences. So with the imaging technologies like artificial intelligence, now you can be able to save costs, operation costs. It can help you automate stuff so that you can save a lot of hours and hours that you could have spent to the tasks that are not so effective. They are very important, but so, AI is helping us to focus more on the business than the paperwork. So the first thought that I want to throw to you, with the help of AI, now you can save costs, but also you can save a lot of time that you could have used to execute a variety of tasks. So example, with Kitonga AI, I'll just use example of Kitonga AI. You are a new startup. When you are opening a company, the first thing you have to register your business name at Ibrera. So if you are at Ibrera, they will ask you a name. So you can go Kitonga, hey Kitonga, give me 10 name suggestions. Boop, it will give you suggestions of the name. And then the next question, you can ask Kitonga, can you develop a company profile for me? Like a vision, a mission, objectives, core values, and everything that is relevant for my company. My company is, you can pick the name from the list of the name that the AI has given to you, and then it can write for you. Imagine you could have, you already saved like 500,000, because 500,000 you could have paid someone who is professional for lighting those company profiles. And then from there you can ask, can you light me a business plan? Kitonga is super smart. It is having over 100 trillion parameters. So it is having a lot of data sets that can help you, can equip you as a startup with relevant, up-to-date information. So that is the first thought that it can help you. But the second one is, as a founder, you need to make informed decision. And sometimes it's very, very hard to make informed decision due to lack of information. But imagine now you have your personal assistant or your personal mentor, sort of it, to help you making data-driven informed decision making. And this is what we are empowering actually for businesses. You heard the ladies we are talking when they were talking about funding. They say the biggest challenge, we don't have data. So with Kitonga AI, it can help you. Not only Kitonga AI, there is varieties of AIs out there. With this imaging technology of AI, it can help you as a business owner to do data-driven solutions. So you just don't assume. You just prompt your queries and AI can help you. But another thing about what AI can, as I said earlier, with this part of inclusiveness, AI doesn't have gender bias. Either it is talking to a lady or it is talking to a man, it doesn't have gender bias. So now there's no more gap of getting information, accurate information specifically, and since it has no emotions, I will give you my fourth thought. Since AI doesn't have emotion, then it is good for customer experience. Good customer experience. It can help you automate your website, your app, your system. You just need to train your company information, and straight Kitonga or other platform that you are using, other AI that you are using, literally can help you do the good thing. It can respond 24/7. I know hiring a secretary, someone to respond for your phone, and sometimes maybe you're on the weekend, you have the moody and you don't feel like working, but with the AI now, like someone has asked you something on the weekend, like, hey, I want 1, 2, 3. Do you offer your company? Then with the AI, straightforward, you will get accurate information because now the AI has been trained with your company information. So there is this personalized information. And the last thought, with the help of AI, guys, I remember 10 years ago, when I started my career in IT, the biggest problem was having a mentor, someone you can look like, someone can advise you. And it's a big challenge, I know, for most of us, especially startups, to have a mentor who actually has walked the path that you want to walk, who can tell you something. It is very, very hard to get that person. And even when you get that person, they have limited time to tell you, to teach you. So with the imaging technologies like artificial intelligence, now you have your 24/7 mentor who can mentor you perfectly 10 times than even the normal mentor could have trained you, with some biases and so forth. So the imaging of artificial intelligence, it is a game changer. I'm inviting every one of you to start, learning stuff, asking questions. You are not so sure of your business, you can ask the AI because it has the word standard or I can say 5-star information that can keep us, like in Africa, the biggest challenge was we have this information, but it's almost outdated. I'll give you this story, but don't laugh, okay? I'm married, so most of the time my wife can book a cinema and I'm tired, I have to go to watch because when you want your thing, najijua mkiwa mnataka vitu vyenu. So my wife can tell, hey, can we go at the theater? I'll say yes. But you know what happened? Most of the time when I'm at the cinema, when I just, I'll just watch a few minutes, like what's happening, and then I'll take a nap at the theater. And when I wake up, you all know when you see the cast list is going up, the wording are going up, it is the end of the movie. So this has been, it has been like most of us. There's good trends that are coming, but we are sleeping. We need to be forerunners. If there's a new technology, the trend, we have to adapt so we can move with the global speed. And finally, on my keynote speech, I would love to use the mic because I want to face you straight, not from the podium. Hello. Okay, so these are the 3 important things before I leave the stage I wish each and everyone in the room to grasp this thing, okay? The first thing, okay? AI will not replace hard work, but rather will aspire smart work. AI will not replace hard work. I don't know if you understand. I was having a conversation with Dr. Mwasaga, and he was telling me about our late father, Mwalimu Nyerere. This man had a vision about changing our country, about education, about, seeing no one is dying with hunger, see there's no more poverty. This was the dream, this was the vision of a man who never even, he was not a president, but he saw the vision. So yes, we are coming from backgrounds that are not supporting us to be tech savvy, but in no way we are now having, we can now get information that can help us to become the people of aspiration and fulfill those dreams that our late leaders saw. They saw the vision like we'll be educated. They saw the vision that we will build our own solution. They saw the vision there will be no more poverty. So I want to aspire each and every one of you, keep the hard working. Repeat after me, say, I will keep the hard working. I will keep the hard working. Guys, hard working is paying. So as much as you are using AI, it can help you the proposal. Like I'm an IT guy. If you come, hey, can you fix my PC? Actually, I'll say, okay, give me a minute. I'll go to AI, ask AI how to fix the PC. If it tells me how to fix the PC, trust me, I have to go and plug the PC, because plugging the PC is not, the cable to the PC is not the work of AI. It's you who have now the information. If you ask Kitonga how to start a business, Kitonga won't do the business. It's you who is going to do that business. So I want to aspire, let's be the people who we embrace hard work in our society. And the second thought that I want to share with you, we should not forget what it means to be Tanzanian, okay? We should not forget what it means to be African. With this amazing advancement of technology, we can embrace our culture. We can embrace our traditions. And I want to be very specific. When I say to embrace our tradition and culture, I don't mean to be like our ancestors. I don't want to live that life of our ancestors. But I don't want to live a life of 500 years ago where our ancestors lived. I want to build something for my future, to build something for my generation, to be a person of admiration, to be a person who can bring solution for my country, to bring solution for my economy, to change the way things are being done. So I want to aspire, rather than talking the past, now it's a time to build our economy, it's a time to build our own country. We have the resources, we have AIs, we have world-class information. Let's use it to build our country. Let's use it to become the people of aspiration. And the last thing, but not listed, for my key takeaways is move away to this stage. As I said earlier, when I go to the movie, I always end up sleeping. And when I wake up, I just find the cast list is going up. It's a time that we should quickly accept the fact that technology has changed the way we interact, the way we do business, and the way we do things. We should accept, but it's not enough to accept. We should adapt quickly. Our policies should be built to the fact that it can be beneficiary for building local solution for our country. Na mwisho kabisa nitamalizia kwa Kiswahili, wadogo zangu, tulijenge taifa letu, na Tanzania ya kidijitali ina. Thank you so much. Jina langu ni Elias Patrick. Tukutane wakati mwingine. Karibu.
Thank you so much, Elias. Jamani, mbona makofi machache sana? Makofi kwa Mr. Elias. Should I call her? Let me welcome Ms. Tukupala, if you're here. Yeah. welcome. Okay, hello Tukupala. Would you tell us what is TAIC and what it does? I think there is a mic over there.
Okay, thank you so much, Janet. So I'm very happy to be here today, and I'm so happy to be the part of this. By introduction, my name is Tukupala Musa Mwaliolo, and by profession, I'm a computer engineer and also a drone pilot, certified by European Union Aviation Safety Agency, but also I'm the co-founder of Youth and Drone Community. Apart from that, I'm the co-founder and CEO of TAIC Company Limited. So I go straight to your question, what is TAIC Company and what are we doing? So TAIC Company, it's a startup company that's dealing with doing geophysical survey in Tanzania. So what I mean by saying geophysical survey, it's kind of doing activity relating to mineral exploration. So it's a startup company that has just been opened recently, and we are collaborating with some of the international companies in Finland, including Radai and also Drone Air, and also one of the companies in Zambia, to provide the precision data relating to mineral exploration here in Tanzania. Thank you.
Nice. And what made you come up with TAIC?
So TAIC comes in a wrong journey for sure. It started when I started involving myself in the drone technology. So I started myself in the drone technology since 2019 when I was in my first year. I made the first drone by using local available materials, including bamboo and sticks. From there, I got an interest into drone technology. So I continued to doing different kind of projects relating to drones in 2020 when I was in my second year, and also in my third year. But in my fourth year, I was able to do one of the fantastic projects, building a crop spraying drone. That was the biggest successful on my side, because always I was looking forward, like what kind of challenges I can be able to solve within my society by using the drone technology. So I went back to my own family and I realized that my parents are facing problems when they're using manual spraying crops. So from there, I then decided to make a crop spraying drone. So after making a crop spraying drone, I got a chance to be one of the students at University of Dar es Salaam, a data science student. And I was lucky to be one of the students also to get a chance to go in Finland as an exchange student. So while in Finland, because I had the passion of drone technology, so I had to network as much as I can with some companies that are relating to drone technology. And I found this company and also the community that was dealing with drone technology. So I joined in one of the community that was dealing with making model prints. So from there, I got an idea like I can be able to establish something like this in Tanzania. And also I went to some of the companies that are doing mineral exploration in Finland. So that networking made me have idea of opening the company, but also opening the youth and drone community as the way of giving back the society on what I have. So the youth and drone community was launched here in Tanzania it was June when I came back from Finland, and after then I opened a company by collaborating with the company that I was able to visit while I was in Finland. Yeah.
Very inspiring.
Thank you so much.
Being like, there are not most women in like the drone community, like what are the challenges that you're facing and maybe the opportunities? Maybe there is a woman here who wants to like delve into drone technology. What are your suggestions on that?
So first of all, I really faced a lot of challenges when I started the drone industry, because most of people, they used to tell me like this is not a thing for a woman. So because I really liked drone technology, and I just believe in myself, like anything is possible. And I faced some people who are saying like you cannot, because I was telling some people like one day I would like to have my own company, and they used to say, how are you going to run this company? But I believe in myself, like anything is possible, and as long as I believe in myself, then I don't need anybody to tell me that I cannot do something.
Yeah, I would. That point that you have spoken, it really touched me, because I'm also a founder of a company, and
Exactly.
I've also met some comments like that. But when you just like taking it inside and just believe in yourself, everything is possible. So
Exactly.
I'm really happy hearing that from you.
Yeah, so I was able to accomplish, like I was able to open the company and prove them wrong that it's possible for a woman to have your own startup company. So to some women or ladies out there who has got a dream, you should listen to people who are saying that you cannot accomplish something, especially in the tech industry. So ICT sector has got no gender. Anything is possible. And it's possible if you believe in yourself. And trust me, you are going to face a lot of challenges. That is true, as I face a lot of challenges. But overcoming those challenges made me whom I am today. So you have to believe in yourself, but also the important thing, network as much as you can, but also you have to find mentor, because I couldn't be able to stand here and explain like I'm a certified drone pilot by European Union, like I'm also having my own startup company, if I couldn't be having a mentor. So I had some people whom were able to push me and made me whom I am today. That's why I opened the Youth and Drone community, the community of giving back to society what I had. Then I also need kids and youth to have this ability to know, like, in the drone sector, there are a lot of opportunities. So by giving them education and giving them the mentorship, then you can be able to realize what kind of challenges that are around our society, and we can use the drone technology together to solve that particular challenge.
Wow, that's really great. My last question will be like, moving in this digital era, and you founding TAIC, what will be your contributions to the economic growth and maybe employment opportunities for others?
Oh, that's a very good question. So I believe the startup that I've opened, it won't only be dealing with geophysical survey, like producing geophysical maps. Right now we have this. So we are also focusing on areas like aerial inspection, making creative content, but also apart from that, we are also going to focus with the aerial inspection into various industries, like making like kinds of inspecting like 8 stages of construction, like in engineering projects, things like that. So all of this will require people. So without people, there is no company. So I'm pretty sure my company will be one of the companies that will be able to employ youth and will be able to bring a lot of changes in different sectors in Tanzania, not only in the mining sector. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Tukupala, and this was very great having you here. I'm really thankful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. A round of applause to Tukupala.
And another round of applause for our moderator, please. Thank you very much. We are running short of time, but we have only 2 sessions, each with half an hour, and I'm sure some of the moderators will yield back some minutes to me, so at least we can finish before midnight, as we need to have a rest before we have to do tomorrow. So may I, with all due respect, call upon Ikunyigulila Mwanjisi, moderator for the panel Investment Ecosystem for Women-Led Startups in Africa. I like these African names. Kunyigilula, this has a meaning. Okay, I can call you Iku. Iku, tafadhali karibu. You have half an hour, and I'm sure you can see the faces of our colleague here. They are looking forward to hear from you. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Innocent. It is my honor to moderate this next panel, which I think is an important one because it gives us an opportunity to reflect on what works and what doesn't work. Because if we are still seeing challenges around funding or opportunities for women in ICT, maybe it's a telltale sign of what we haven't done in our strategies or what we need to improve on our strategies. So it's such an honor to moderate this session. And without further ado, I would love to call upon my panelists, starting with a face that's not new in the innovation and entrepreneurship ecosystem. And she is none other than Kai Molel. Karibu. Kai Molel is the head of the business incubator at Stanbic Bank, but she also wears many hats, and I would love for all of us to get to hear about her. Next up is Khalila Mbowe, also known as Kels. I will not introduce her much because we also got an opportunity to hear from her before. And next up is Kedi. I hope I got the name right. All the way from Estonia. Karibu sana, and thank you for being with us. And last but not least, I think this will be, no, it's not the first panel with a man, but it's my honor to introduce this man because truly he's been a godfather to the innovation ecosystem in Tanzania. Personally, for Shule Direct, we couldn't have it been where we are without his support, and I know that's the same sentiment for many startups in Tanzania. It's my pleasure to invite Joseph Manirakiza, the program lead from Funguo under UNDP. Karibu sana, join us in this panel. It will also be nice to get to hear your perspective from the development sector. All right, so I think we'll start with those who weren't here in the morning in the panel to introduce yourselves. So I'll start with Kai, and I'll invite Joseph in the interest of time as well. So if you can please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and your background and why you're here.
All right. Hello everyone. Jamani, habari zenu? Nawasalimia tena, habari zenu? Mmechoka, mjachoka? Safi. Sasa jina langu nitawaambia mwishoni ili muendelee kunisikiliza. Natoka benki inayopenda inawajali inaitwa Stanbic Bank, na pale nahudumia kwenye kitengo cha Stanbic Biashara Incubator. Tunachokifanya tunasaidia kukuza, so we enable businesses, entrepreneurs and innovators from startup stage mpaka kwenye biashara ambazo ziko established. I'm going to say something that I haven't said in any public platforms, kwenye any panel. I have a background in ICT. My base is software engineering. And better part of when I was growing up, I thought I'm going to be a coder. I'm not, but I thought I'm going to be one. And so today, imeniamsha hiyo ndoto kwamba kama sie basi nisaidie wengi wawe. Nashukuru kwa hapa.
Thank you. Karibu Joseph.
All right, habari zenu. Habari zenu. Asante. Yeah, my name is Joseph Manirakiza. I'm leading the implementation of the Funguo Innovation Program under UNDP, which is the United Nations Development Program. This is a program which is funded by European Union, and the aim is basically to support startups through scale-up by providing catalytic funding, technical assistance, but also working with the government to make the business environment better for innovators and startups. So that's in a nutshell what we're doing. Personally, I have been within the innovation ecosystem for, I don't know how long, 9 years already. So I've been there. So I have seen it grow, and we engage with quite a number of partners across the continent. So I'm glad to be part of this discussion to actually share my perspective of where we see the investment ecosystem for women-led startups go. So thank you very much.
Thank you. So I'll also have my first question to Joseph and to Kai, representing the development sector, the development partners, and Kai representing the private sector. So we've been talking about this all morning, all day, rather. Challenges that we're seeing around women-led startups, and particularly women-led startups in ICT. But I also know that we've seen a few in Tanzania, and we probably have a few more coming from Africa, successful ones. So I would love to know from you, from both your perspectives, what are some of the strategies that you've seen that work, that perhaps we could put more emphasis on?
I go first? All right. Now because I'm the only man on the panel. Yeah. One, I think it's a fact, kwamba, there's little funding going to women or female-led startups compared to those that go to male-funded startups. So that's a fact. And some reports put it to about 6.5% of the total amount raised by startups in Africa, which goes to women. So that's about roughly $1 in every $15. So that's a fact, and that's according to report of 2021. There are several factors behind that. Of course, one being that within the ecosystem, we don't see a lot of startups being founded by women because probably cultural issues, but also the biases of investors and probably even policymakers, and also the nature of startups which are founded by women. Some analysis show that most money goes to fintechs in Africa, but most women are founding businesses which are more kind of within the impact area, and most of them within the health tech, ed tech, or other areas which do not necessarily attract a lot of funding. So those are what the report are telling us. Having realized that, what we are seeing across the continent from some of the either investors but also development financial institutions is that they are starting women-focused kind of initiatives. Yeah, we are seeing that from the African Development Bank, for those who have heard of AFAWA. We are seeing that from the likes of IFC. But we have also been seeing some of the impact investors who are kind of designing calls and are putting incentives to women-led startups, to like giving them some extra credit. So that's all is done to kind of attract more women startups to apply, but also to be able to get funding. So that's just one strategy by actually creating intentional incentives to be able to support women to grow. So, we are seeing it work. It's going to take a bit of time to be able to catch up with Leo, but the idea is not really to catch up, but at least to have more and more coming in. And back home, I think we're also seeing such kind of initiatives. Within Fungu, what we have been doing, for instance, we have been, women-led startups are encouraged to apply. So when we did that for the first time, of course we saw them, but the numbers were not that encouraging. So in the second round, what we did was basically to actually put a quota that we are intentionally looking a minimum of 30% of the available funding that's going to go to women-led startups. And because we communicated that in the outreach, as a result, from the recently concluded call for funding, which we are going to publicly announce soon, we got about 47% of those that are going to be funded second round being women-led startups. So that kind of targeted approach definitely works. So that's what I can share for now, since we have a lot of time, bit of time.
Thank you, Joseph. Yes, Kai?
Yeah, so just to build on top of what Joseph said, because of course the numbers are scary. Ukiangalia kama alivyosema, nikigeuza hiyo inamaanisha ni kwamba katika kila kampuni iliyopo hapa ambayo tunaita startup, inamaanisha kati yake 7 zimeundwa au zinaongozwa na wanaume, 3 tunagawana kwamba either co-founder ni mwanamke au anayeongoza ni mwanamke. Sasa kwetu sisi tukiangalia from the lens of the affected, tunasema kwamba okay, what are the challenges? As you said, I like the question kwamba challenges ni nini? We've discussed all day. These are the challenges. These are the facts. Kwamba kwenye every dollar wanawake watapata kiasi hichi. So it's all scary. And Joseph said we have to make intentional step towards countering it. But I'm saying also where we're building up from. Because the biggest issue is not chicken and egg, but rather the pipeline itself. So we have very good ladies here. Tunafanya nini kuanzia huko chini? When it comes to investment, especially you're looking at from the private sector, you're expecting kupata returns. So the companies themselves, they have to make business sense. And then we are talking about, market share. Because yes, you have a startup, but what is it solving for? Is the solution going to get money back? Because it's pure numbers when you're talking about financing. Especially, business financing is even worse. But at alternative financing, which we do at the incubator. So we have few companies that we're working with. And while we're doing business models for them, especially the startups, we ask them, how are you going to make money? They say, I'm solutioning for this. So we're helping them build different models and then we test them out. But we also answer another thing about it comes directly with investment, which is access to markets. Does it look like profiling? So, Sawa, you're working on this industry. Let's make you market attractive. Make you market ready. But what are the opportunities? Ziko wapi? How are we building you? How are we reverse engineering your business to fit that market? Does it look like capacity? So which are the gaps? Why are the gaps? Sindio? So all those things is around building a capacity for that pipeline. So I would say the first thing or the first strategy for me would be to angalia pipeline and then build capacity for it to be able to go even in global setup and say, these are the ones that we have. These are the ready to be invested startups for women or led by women. And then again, on the leadership part, which is another strategy where we can play a huge role. They say we not only need female leaders, we need sound female-voiced leaders. So anaweza ikawa ni mwanaume, anaweza ikawa ni mwanamke, but those that are filtering or are seeing the perspective from a gender lens. Kwamba, okay, how is this fitted with this problem? How are we solutioning for a girl child in uko mwisho wa Tanzania ambaye hayuko represented hapa? Kwa hiyo, I would say the other thing is we build good voices, leadership voices in decision making, ambao wataongelea kwamba tunahitaji kiasi fulani kwenye hapa, lakini pia ambao watatengeneza sehemu ya kufikia. Mimi nashukuru sana ICT Commission kwa sababu, and I told this to DG, kwamba young Kai would have been ecstatic kukaa tu hapa na kusikiliza na kuona kwamba kumbe naweza kufikia. Sasa the same is with business. You need a step to not inspire but actually aspire to. Mimi ni mama ntilie na aspire kuwa na mgahawa. Ukinionyesha hoteli Grand Melia, ukinionyesha hoteli kubwa, ni ngumu mimi kuona kule. But I can see mgahawa next to it. So those leaders, one, they will, help with those decisions. They will build a strong ecosystem ambayo ina good representation, lakini pia they will give us, as startups, as businesses, something to aspire to. And then the third one, of course, is global setup. Now we are in our small echo chamber and we are saying Tanzanian invested startups for women. But there's a whole global, and I'm happy that we have a representation from other countries. There's a whole market out there with so many opportunities. Are we ready for that? Are we preparing for here peke yake? We're talking about other countries and how they're making strides in the, the kings, the Kenya, Ghana, na kadhalika. What have they seen that we haven't? And so maybe this is a call to our government as well. Sio kutengeneza, kama wanavyotengeneza mipango mingine ikiangalia dunia inakwenda wapi, basi hata huku kwenye biashara zinazoanza, biashara changa, tufanye hivyo hivyo. Kwamba tusianze kwa kuangalia sisi biashara zetu, but rather dunia inakwenda, afu tunarudi nyuma. Kwa sababu ukipanga kwa kuangalia ulipo, hautafika mbali. Lakini ukipanga kwa kuangalia unakotaka kwenda, chances zao utafika mbali na utapata ile nguvu ya kuruka vihunzi au zile changamoto. Asante.
Wow, thank you so much for that. That was powerful. And what I like is, I think there's some resonating things that are still coming out that we've been hearing all day. And I think we heard from Joseph around cultural issues being perhaps a block for investments for women, opportunities for funding for women. Also the fact that there's a lot of money going into fintech. I also don't want to repeat the fact that we already know that in startups more money goes to men than women. But it made me wonder, is it intentionally going to more men, or is it women are not coming out to look for these opportunities? So that's food for thought for all of us. But what Kai, you said, that also resonated, and I think it's something that we've talked very much about in the morning, was a pipeline of support for the ecosystem, but also the role of role models, having, showing women role models. So I like that, and I really like the fact that you say we have to think globally. So even the strategies that we have, like you had a call for the government, the strategies that we have, how are we thinking globally? Like where is the world going? But what I also love most about this panel is the fact that it's very diverse. So we get to hear from Tanzania, and we also get to hear from Estonia. So with that, Kedi, I would love to invite you. If you could share with us perhaps best practices that are working in Estonia, or best strategies that you've seen that have helped to unlock investment, especially for women-led startups.
Yes, thank you. First of all, everything that has been said is very true, and maybe I would like to start with the awareness raising part, because that's a very crucial component when we're talking about startups or women-led startups in general, because the awareness raising needs to be done for the investors, that there are women-led startups existing, and also encouraging different funding opportunities for them, and also for our young women, actually, that they do have this opportunity. And in Estonia, what we use quite a lot is different mentoring and accelerator and incubator programs for the startups, and also the special ones for women only. So in that sense, they partner up with already established, might be women-led or men-led companies, but with someone who you could learn from, and also to provide business development support for the women-led startups, so that you would get a mentor, and also you would get mentoring and funding for conducting the market research, putting together a business plan. This is also when we're talking about the global approach, that you need to think local but act global, in that sense. So these are the things where actually the startup ecosystem can support women-led startups. In Estonia, we have Startup Estonia. We also do have different other university-led incubators where the startups then can be accelerated. Also, Accelerate Estonia. So different platforms need to be provided, and also we saw the e-residency card here today on the stage. This is also an initiative that is actually created thinking about startups, so that you can establish a company in Estonia. We have quite a good tax environment for the companies, so you can operate from Estonia, but you have the whole European market in that sense. So these are some of the things where support would be very appreciated. Also when we're talking about the legal environment and knowing the legal sphere. So for a starting company, when you don't know anything about business, you have a good idea, you need support with the rest around it. So yes, that's it from me.
Thank you so much, Kedi. I love something that you brought up, and I think it just sparked something that we haven't been mentioning today is the tax environment and the legal environment. That's very crucial. I hope that the development partners and our private sector are also taking note of that. So, Khalila, you and I both know what doesn't work in this country, but I would love for you to take this opportunity of this platform to share from your point of view what you think should be done and by whom.
Thank you so much. So one of the things that I'd like to say, it's really crucial to ask the right question. Normally we ask, why don't startups succeed? Why are youth-led startups not succeeding? Now let's ask, why are startups that are run by women not succeeding? And then let's break that up. Why are startups that are led by young women who are undergrad, then graduate, and then young mothers, and so on and so forth? Because across those different places, mwanamke kulingana na sehemu ambayo yupo maishani anapitia changamoto tofauti. Na kwa namna moja au nyingine tunatengeneza programu ambazo zinatakiwa kutumika na wote. Kwamba wanawake wote, yule ambao yuko chuo na yule ambao ni mzazi, wote tunaweka kwenye boksi moja, tumewatengenezea suluhu moja. So what I'm saying is we're creating programs that are supposed to fit all the different stages that different women go through, and we're trying to fit all of them in a box to say, well, this is a program that is focused on women, regardless whether you are an undergrad, a graduate, a young mother, a startup. Basically, we're expecting them to work across the board. And one of the things that we found out is it does not work. So in 2020, we did an experiment. We did an experiment with an organization from France called Follow Her. And we started an incubator called Uwezo Tanzania. And what we did is, literally, we wanted to do a 1-year program, but we ended up pushing it to 2 years. And the reason, because the experiment, throughout the experiment, we were learning. The whole idea was train them, connect them to mentors, give them funding, business development support, and then they're going to accelerate. But what we ended up finding, and basically we're testing a hypothesis, and that was the importance of having business development support at every stage. And it's not just the one touch point with a mentor a week for 30 minutes to say, oh, this is what I'm doing, or this is what you should do. No, we actually had consultants going to their space of work, working with their teams, working with them, and the consultants would stay on ground for a whole week. So you have been in a training umeingia darasani, umefundishwa, umeandika, you who were excited. Tumerudi. Unajua ukitoka darasani, wote tunajua ukitoka darasani karibia 80% ya ulichojifunza umekishakisahau. You've forgotten. And so kwenye hizi incubators, accelerator programs, tunafurahi tumejifunza na kadhalika. Tukirudi, ukikutana na zile changamoto ambazo zinakusubiri kule, kila kitu kinapotea. How do you make it practical? And the most important thing is to think about, how do we make the training that we're giving practical? Because across the board, if 50 people have gotten a certain type of training, when they go back home, their contexts are vastly different. They're operating in several different nuances. Now, how do we still make sure that across the spaces that they're operating in, the practicality now still plays out? And so we found out that in those 2 years, that business development support across every stage, so you've received training, you go back, but you have a team of people going back with you in terms of, okay, how does this now contextualize to your environment, to your business? Not only to your environment, to your business, but remember, you're also in a different sector. You're also targeting different clients. But then the client for a tech startup in Dar and the tech startup in Kisarawe, different people, different environments. So if I'm training you with my context and perception from Dar es Salaam, umeenda kule umeshaumia. Because, and then we have young people or women coming out of these programs wondering, why am I not succeeding? I should be succeeding. And we are creating And we're creating a generation of women who are now going back and blaming themselves for not succeeding, but the tools we were giving them were faulted in the first place. Right? So you're basically ndo ile kwamba if you have a hammer, you think everything is a nail, which is what's been happening. So making sure that we're creating, I brought up co-creation in the morning, but creating programs that are contextualized to the nuanced experiences of these women. But that co-creation point is really important. Thinking through who exactly are we creating for. When we say women, women exist across a broad spectrum. Which woman are we creating for? Because whenever we're talking about startups, when tunauliza, what's your product? Who exactly is your target audience? You need to know. So even as we're creating this program, who exactly? Name this person. Akiamka asubuhi anafanya nini? Akienda kulala anafanya nini? Tueleze huyu mtu ni nini? And then create directly for that person. These programs have to actually also, they also have to live what they preach.
Well, thank you so much, Kels. And what's really coming out strongly is the fact of context for women, and that women are not homogenous. So we can't think an investment strategy across board, like this is an investment strategy for women in Tanzania, but it has to be broken down by context, right? Or even if we're doing entrepreneurial support, then it also has to be broken down. But what I was really hoping, this is me giving you like a magic wand, today we're changing everything, just point out, give names, say I want this person to do this, I want that person to do that. Whether they're sitting on this panel, whether they're sitting in the audience, or they're watching the live stream.
Beautiful. As we're revising the ICT policy, I would like, even as we're revising the ICT policy, Daktari, moja kwa moja, Dr. Nkundwe, moja kwa moja nakuja kwako, ni lazima tuhakikishe kwamba, najua mnafanya co-creation tayari, lakini wadau ambao tumekuwa mstari wa mbele wa kuendesha hizi programu zinazojikita kuzungumzia na wanawake, lazima tuwe kwenye hivyo vyumba, tuweze kutoa hizi context, otherwise tutakuwa tunatengeneza kitu ambacho huko mbeleni kitaishia kuwa tatizo. We're creating a problem for the future. And on the other hand, so I'm going to turn kwa wadau. You are representing all the development partners in the space. Wadau pia mkiwa mnatengeneza hizi programu, kwa namna moja au nyingine, kuna kitu nimekuja kugundua. Kuna sehemu labda niseme nilikuwa nimeenda kupitch kitu na nikaambiwa hiyo product ni product ambayo inazungumza na wanawake. That's an NGO thing. Hiyo ni product ambayo inawasort wanawake. Wanawake, unajua, women are not clients. Nilishangaa sana because the people on that panel were completely flawed in terms of their perceptions on what women could do. So kwa wale ambao wako kwenye hizi panels au wanaendesha hizi program kwa namna moja au nyingine, ni muhimu kuhakikisha kwamba wale watu ambao tunataka kuwafikia wawe a big part of the development of the different programs that we do. Because kwa namna moja au nyingine kama wapo, lakini unakuta most of the times now hawajapitia ile mifumo ambayo tunajaribu kuirekebisha. So kama mimi sijapitia mfumo ambao unajaribu kurekebishika, sasa mimi nitakuja kucontribute nini? So to make sure that those who are actually part and have actually experienced yale matatizo wawe ndani ya mifumo. Upande ya sisi wajasiriamali wa kike pia kuhakikisha kwamba pale tunapojikuta na changamoto tusisite kutafuta msaada. Na kwenye kutafuta msaada ni most of the times, mara nyingi kutafuta msaada kunatisha. Because unamuuliza nani, unaenda wapi? Mara nyingi tunakuwa na ngeli ambayo kwa namna moja au nyingine unakuta haipokeleki. Because you don't have the technical words to express your problems. You're told to ask for help, but nikienda ku ask for help huyo mwenyewe namuomba msaada, nashangaa, anaona kama sifai. Kwa sababu gani? Unakuta most of the times the language that entrepreneurs use perhaps is not sophisticated enough, right? But then we need to be able to still keep pushing, lakini wale pia ambao wako on the other side, sisi ambao tumekaa huko mbele. So on one end we have to ask, but on the other end sisi ambao tuko huko mbele ambao tumepiga hatua mbeleni, we need to create platforms where we can openly come through and share. We cannot just wait for the ICT Commission to call us through for a different tumesema kwamba in March kuna hiyo Women in ICT Day, but what are the monthly hurdles we have? What are the monthly, it can be webinars, it could be, but we need that community where we're consistently sharing and pouring out from our experiences, so we are not replicating the same issues that we are going through right now, because that's what's happening. It's just becoming a cyclical effect of the same problems being replicated over and over again.
Thank you very much. So in the interest of time, and I know this is not fair, we're supposed to have 45 minutes, but then we've been asked to shorten it, but then again, life is never fair. I would have loved to hear from the audience. We could have taken one question, but then I am afraid that we're running out of time. So in this time, I would love for each and every one of you, starting from Joseph, and I'll wrap up, just share with us one thing. You have been here the whole day today. We're talking about youth and women in ICT. What's the one thing that you're going to do differently? So this is an opportunity for you to share with us what you failed at, because as a culture, we don't like talking about failures. So today I'm giving you an opportunity to tell us where you failed, what you failed at, without saying that you failed, but just tell us what you're going to do differently. So just the one thing that you're taking away from today and you're going to do differently.
Yeah, thanks. I think I've already shared what we failed in the first round of funding, for instance, and I've already said what we did about it in the second round. And what I'm getting out of this one, we're already talking about it, which is the step forward, but we shouldn't end here. So it's a call to everybody, policymakers, development partners, investors, bankers. So it's a good thing that already people are taking action towards that. So we've already started, we've shown the way, so we're going to continue doing that. Thanks.
Kels, 1 minute. Oh, no, warn you, 40 seconds.
What we failed at.
Just say what you're going to do differently.
What I'm going to do differently. I think the biggest thing for me is what I ended up with right now. Making sure we're creating platforms, or I'm creating a platform where we are speaking back. I've been talking about a huddle for the longest time, but it's about time to start doing it. A space where every month we can literally just have an informal gathering of this is where we are failing, this is where we need to fix, and basically have these entrepreneurs who are looking to come into the space, come through and just learn. A safe space for open conversations, authentic and genuine sharing.
I totally agree, and I'm on the same page as Estonia is a digital nation, but we're not putting too much focus on our women either, not yet as well. So currently we also have a plan with the Estonian ICT Association to create this collaboration platform for women in ICT, and also I myself, I'm trying to give back. At least I'm also a mentor in this GovStack Women in GovTech Challenge, and trying to create this enabling environment for women and young girls.
I think two things. One is how are we as private sector, we as Stanbic Bank, we can play part in platforms where we build on top of each other. And this has always been my call anytime I get a chance, that and I know we need to do better, where one solutions for this and then the other comes on top and build on top of it. And that's how we build something great, instead of fighting over stones and whatnot. So cha muhimu hiyo, kutengeneza mwendelezo kuanzia ngazi ya chini kwenye hao startups au hao hizo biashara tunazotamani kuzisaidia au kuziwezesha au kuzikuza zaidi, na sisi wenyewe ambao ni wawezeshaji. Kwa sababu kama my program, I have a program targeting suppliers, and it's informed by research. We know the gaps, these are the gaps that are existing, and we solution for them. Lakini baada ya hapo, what next for them? Can I come to you and say, I have a list of 100 entrepreneurs, take them to your program, these are the gaps ambazo bado wanazo, and then we can grow them. Because one thing that we haven't discussed today, there are those that have been able to break the glass, wako huko juu, hakuna mtu anawafikiriaga, na wana nafasi ya kutengeneza nafasi kubwa zaidi. Tukiangalia uchumi wa nchi kubwa duniani, mabilionea ni wachache, lakini they've been able to create a value chain of hundreds of thousands huko chini. So what if we build strong, hata kama ni 10 billionaires, women, nadhani Gracia Marshall Trust has a program around that, where women creating wealth, powerful ICT women building the likes of Amazon, Facebook. How watabeba wanawake wangapi? Pre-programmers, union. So let's think on that level as well. Let's solution up to that. And then the second thing is, as we continue to solution, sisi sasa startups, sisi businesses, let's not wish for kutengeneza biashara au kusema mimi nina biashara au nina idea ya biashara au mimi ni a woman in STEM. It's also a novelty, yeah? But as we meet the realities, or when we're speaking women agenda, there's also like human agenda on the bottom. So I always hear people say, but there's challenges, unajua, but kuna muda mwingine tunagusia mpaka human issues, not even gender issues. So I think there's a level of I don't want to say accountability, but kukubaliana na uhalisia, na kwamba huo uhalisia ndo unakupa opportunity ya kutengeneza masuluhisho, na hiyo solution yako ndo sasa inakutengenezea thamani na inakuletea sasa biashara inakuwa, unapata faida na kadhalika. Kwa hiyo tunavokaa wakati we are solutioning or wakati we are building on, we have to accept a certain reality that this is what we are called as human beings, and then these are the challenges that are coming with my community, and then hapo sasa ndo investment that comes in, because even when you are going to an investor, the first question they ask is, tatizo lako ni kubwa kiasi gani? Kuna opportunity kiasi gani? Sasa yale ambayo tunasema serikali tusaidie, jamani wale watu wa maendeleo watusaidie, those are the opportunities most of the time. So maybe it's a call for all of us. Even I live here knowing kwamba I need to go and have a list of things that are calling them or dubbing them as problems, but they're actually my opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I love this panel because it's actually also giving me hope in terms of the future. I think it's much better for the women of tomorrow, the young girls who are here today. With everything that has been said, I think I'll just also like to stress on Dr. Nkundwe, because you're here representing the government, applying this gender lens, but I would say gender and inclusive lens to the strategies, to the policies that we have, especially when it comes to the investment strategies or investment ecosystem for women-led startups. So yeah, without further ado, I would like to thank my panelists. Thank you so much for your time and all that you shared with us. And I hope the audience is still energetic to give you a huge round of applause. Makofi kwao jamani, asanteni sana.
Naomba pia makofi kwa dada Iku kwa kazi kubwa aliyofanya hapa. I really felt bad when dada Iku say the world is not fair, kwamba labda tumewanyima muda. Mimi I should declare my interest. I love women, seriously. Not the way you are thinking, but I love women. And I normally feel very uncomfortable to disturb them. So nothing bad was intended, but I was just making sure we are all good, as a few has remained and some of us has left. So the last session, but not by importance, is the fireside chat. And I would like to call my brother, Dr. Georgie Mulamula, Dr. Georgie Mulamula, to do the fire chat. This is about why top global VCs piling into a startup ecosystem of some few African economies. Karibu sana, Dr. Mulamula. You are the person between we and you going home. Karibu sana. Midnight, don't worry about that. We'll be asleep, all of us. The floor is yours, Doctor.
Thank you very much. Jamani, habari za mchana jamani. Naona mmechoka. Sawa basi. We are going to be very brief, very short. At least the question, swala ambalo liko limeulizwa, the question was, why are VCs piling into some African startup ecosystems. The question is, what is a VC? VC maana yake ni venture capitalist. Now, to help the chat, well, fireside, there's no fire hapa jamani, kwa hiyo it's just a chat, even it's called a fireside chat. I have my friend and colleague, Roderick Msechu, ataelezea, tutakuwa na mazungumzo kuhusu hilo swala la VCs and startups and investing in the continent of Africa. Hivi naomba display ile display 1 kama inawezekana, kama huko nyuma wanao nini just. Lakini while they're doing that, karibu Roderick, just introduce yourself and say what you do. I know you're from Serengeti, not brewers but angel investors. Serengeti, for those who don't know, ni beer hapa. It's a beer that we have here. Yes, karibu.
Yeah, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Mimi naitwa Roderick Msechu, and I work with Serengeti Business Angels Network, and I'm going to explain what we do in a second. But before I go into that, I'm really honored to share a panel with someone I look up to and a giant in the Tanzanian ecosystem, Dr. Mulamula. Kwa hiyo, it's a pleasure to be here. I know we are going to make it short, so I'm happy to share the insights I have with the few minutes that we have. So at Serengeti Angels Network, what we do is twofold. First, we look for people who are interested in the startup ecosystem. We teach them how to become angel investors, and then together we invest in interesting founders in Tanzania. That's on one side. And on the other side, we look for deal flow, we look for interesting startups, and then we evaluate together and invest. After our investment, we look for VCs who will do follow-on investment. We look for matching funds. So that's what I do.
Now, two things you have mentioned, two types of groups, angel investors and VCs. The difference between them, what's the scope of an angel investor and what's the scope of a venture capitalist, a VC?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. Maybe I take you to a bit of history, like where did angel investment come from? Zamani sana, in Broadway in the US, very rich people would pay for actors who want to put up a show in a space like this at Broadway, because putting up the show is very expensive, and eventually you don't know if people are going to show up or not. So this would be very rich people who love to see live shows that they would put in some money. Sometimes they would get money back, sometimes not. In the context of startups, angel investors are those who come just after friends, family, and fools. Sawa. Kwa mfano, una idea, my friend Kel's there, zamani wakati anaanza alikuwa na idea, alafu ameanza biashara, anaongea na ndugu zake labda waweke pesa, anaongea na marafiki, na tunaita wajinga kwa sababu wanaweka pesa hawajui kama itarudi, right? So after that round, you need other people who probably don't know you that would put in some money, and those are the angels. So the angel ticket is between, say, $10,000 to $100,000, and venture capital comes in after. And I'm happy to explain why they don't go down to smaller ticket sizes. It's really because the amount of work, kazi ambayo investor ambaye ameweka dola milioni 100 na ambaye ameweka dola 100,000, kazi ambayo ataifanya kwa startup or kwenye kampuni is the same. Board work, support, etc. Kwa hiyo why spread it in so many companies and not one? Sijui kama nimejibu kwa.
The other way ya kuangalia ni kwamba a VC invests lots of money. They've got a minimum threshold, normally about 200,000 and above, and above to millions, whereas AIs and investors go below, as you say, 10,000. But now, in terms of, in terms of VCs in Africa, we see that, I think I was reading somewhere that I think there's 5.2 billion, I think, that has been spent in Africa. Please explain that, in terms of where the money has gone in Africa.
Okay. The size of venture capital as an industry is around $5 billion, right? And only 1% comes to Africa. So I've been in part of conversations where many people are saying this is not right. Let's do something so that we can increase. 1% is really nothing for the potential of a continent like ours. Now, what is scandalous is that even the 1%, which is about 5.2 billion, 75% in 2021 went to only 4 countries: South Africa, Nigeria, Egypt, and Kenya. And then the rest of us have to compete for the 25%.
I was reading somewhere that even out of that money that came to Africa, I think only 26% of that money went to companies that have women as CEO or have got women members in that. What is the experience with women in receiving AI money or VC money?
Yeah, it's quite tough. It's quite hard because one of the panelists who was here, Kai, mentioned that in their program, they are business focused. So at the end of the day, a business has to make profit, right? And then you put these other things. So in that context, while we really, really want women founders, we really want women CEOs, and we try as much as possible to accommodate, we still struggle with what we call pipeline, like the quality that comes through. And for us, what we've done as Serengeti Angels is actively look for women angel investors who might help us with a gender lens, because as men, there are some things we're probably missing. But even that hasn't been easy. We are hardly 30% of angels that are women, but it's been a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
You've mentioned something that is very interesting, the pipeline that comes in order for you to invest in. I think as we live here, it will be quite important, at least from a startup point of view or from an entrepreneur, innovator, to get an understanding as to you as an angel investor or a VC, what are you looking for in startup to say that I can now invest in that entity?
Okay, different angel groups, different VCs have what we call a thesis. I can share ours. One, we say we want to work with founders that we like.
That you like?
That we like.
Wow, okay.
and there's a reason behind it. Those who are founders and entrepreneurs, they know that it's a lot of hard work, a lot of hours, a lot of emotions. And so if we just can't get along, it becomes so hard for us to add value to you. And it's not liking like how we see it, but professionally, are you able to get feedback from us? Whatever I tell you, can we have candid conversation about, say, your startup, or are you too fragile not even to get feedback? So that's the first criteria. Second criteria, we primarily invest in Tanzania and founders who are based here. And this, while we are very Pan-African in our outlook, we are not able to add a lot of value to a startup in Ghana, but a startup in Mbeya, we are able to. We can open networks because the money is part of the equation, but it's not the only thing that an angel investor will give to a founder. The other criteria are the ticket size, how much you would want. For us, between $10,000 to $100,000 is a sweet spot. Anything more, we don't have and we can't raise from our network, and anything less is probably too early for us. So that's our thesis. But generally what VCs look for that is key that I've seen is, one, the team. Is the team good enough? Do they have grit? Do they have what it takes to take the startup to the next level? Why? The team is more important before even the idea. It's because the market is always right. You take a product to the market tells you otherwise. So as a founder, are you able to work with the market and pivot? Kwa sababu kuna watu wengi nimezungumza nao wanakuambia hapana, sawa, hii idea nilivyoifikiria sikuifikiria hivyo. Lakini uliifikiria kama idea. Ukienda sokoni, soko lipo sahihi kila wakati.
Okay, sawa. We said we'll make it short. Sasa this is part 1. There is still part 2 to come. Kuna maswala yote jamani? Tujazie muda au tuishie hapa kwa ajili part 2 itaendelea baadaye kwa ajili ya muda. Tuendelee. Basi una swali gani la kuuliza tuendelee? Nikuletea microphone. Naam? Sawa basi.
Ngoja mimi kijana nikimbie.
Naitwa Joachim Rukea, natokea Research Group Limited pamoja na Kuku Dairy Limited. Hizo zote ni startups companies. Kampuni yangu ni Research Group Limited. Sasa maswali yangu ni kama yafuatavyo. Kwanza, startups nyingi tunapata changamoto kubwa sana. Wengi tunaangalia zaidi kuhusiana na mtaji, financial capital, rather than other issues. For instance, investors wengi wanaangalia vitu vingi sana, kama tukija kwenye upande wa VC, kama tractions. Unakuta biashara zetu nyingi hazina tractions, financial projections au financial za kampuni au biashara kama ni changa. Tuna changamoto kubwa jinsi ya kuandaa mahesabu, na wengi zaidi hatuna hata pesa za kulipa labda tax consultants au wasibu au auditors, na tusaidiaje hivyo. Lakini pia trainings kwa ajili ya startups, lakini na platform zaidi kwa ajili ya startups, vitu kama hivyo, hususan financials. Lakini pia so issues of financials to team, kuwa na the right team. Watu wengi hatujui team inatakiwa iweje. Mimi nimejifunza vitu vingi sana kupitia Imbeju, CRDB Imbeju, ambao wao ni business partners wetu, na niliingia kupitia Kuku Dairy app ambao ni partner na kampuni nyingine. Nashukuru sana, na wamenifundisha mambo mengi sana kuhusiana na haya ambayo tunafanya. Niko kwenye cohort 1 ya CRDB Imbeju. Kwa najivunia kwa hilo, na nisingeweza kufika hapa bila CRDB Imbeju, kwa sababu wao ndio wametuconnect na ICTC ambao pia ni stakeholders wetu au partners wetu, na Costech na wadau wengine. Kwa nashukuru kwa elimu ambayo wanatupatia, ni kubwa sana kuliko hata hela au vitu vingine ambavyo wangeweza kutupatia. It's a very valuable thing, very precious money thing. The elimu waliotupatia na vitu kama hivyo ni vikubwa sana kuliko hata hela ambayo labda wangetupatia leo au kesho. Very very important thing. Tumejifunza mambo mengi sana kwenye bootcamp, tumejifunza mambo mengi sana kwenye cohorts, ni mengi sana, mengi mno. Sasa hawa watu ambao wako huko nje, wengi wanataka kuanzisha biashara, wana changamoto labda ideas, wengine ndo kama hivyo, mtu ana idea yake, jinsi gani ya kutoka pale ai-transform kuja kwenye biashara ni changamoto, bado inakuwa iuziki. Mtu ana mawazo mazuri, jinsi gani ya kutransform kuja kama kuwa biashara iuziki, au investors waweze kuinvest kwenye hiyo biashara ni changamoto, au jinsi gani ya kubadilisha iweze kumpatia kipato ni changamoto, jinsi gani ya kuweza kupata cash flow ni changamoto. Kwa kuna vitu vingi mno ambavyo sisi tulijifunza, lakini bado tunaendelea kujifunza. Maswali yangu nataka kujua jinsi gani ya upande wa financials na wasaidiaje, lakini jinsi gani ya kuweza kuwa link na hawa investors wengi ambao wako huko nje ambao sisi hatuwezi kuwajua, au na hizi platforms nyingine kama incubators na hubs mbalimbali, nao kama investors wa aina mbalimbali, angels investors na wengine. Nashukuru, yangu ni hayo tu.
Asante. Jina lako sikulipata vizuri.
Naitwa Joachim Pius Rukeha.
Asante kaka Joakim, umeongea na passion sana. Unaonekana unachokifanya unakipenda. Kwa hiyo hongera. I can just tell you kwamba keep going. That's very important. Mimi nafikiri tayari you are in the right direction. Umeongea kuhusu Imbeju, which is one of the go-to places for a startup. Lakini namwona Joseph yupo hapa, kuna Funguo, they're about to announce their cohort. Nafikiri application may close, but the next one, why don't you try out? Kuna Stanbic, Kai is there. Kwa hiyo kuna forums nyingi, kwa sababu what is important is to know where the point of intervention of different people. Sisi kama Serengeti Angels tunakuja baada ya incubators and accelerators have gone through the startups. So we don't have the capacity to help you at the ideation stage, right? Ukiwa na tractions, Funguo is going to help you with your financials, it's going to help you with your business development, etc. Ukipita huko sasa, you want to scale very quickly, that's where Serengeti comes in. Yeah?
So, lakini anachokizungumzia Joakim, nafikiri ni kile kitu ambacho kuna watu wengi wana ideas huko, lakini hawezi wakasubiri mpaka Imbeju au Funguo atangaze kwamba anahitaji vijana waje. Nafikiri sasa na wao Imbeju na Funguo na Daraja na hizo funding zingine ni cyclic, yani ni kila cycle inakuja. Sasa hapo katikati hawa wanafanya, kama nimekolewa vizuri Joakim, hao wengine ambao wako huko wanafanya nini? Ndio maana kuna mimi nilianzisha DTBI, nitakuja kwako. Nianzisha DTBI pale Tume ya Sayansi COSTECH, na ile ilikuwa ni technology hub. Kazi yake ilikuwa ni kusaidia vijana hawa kuwawezesha. Tulikuwa tuna mtu wa kodi pale, mtu wa kufanya registration wa BRELA yuko pale, na vijana wanakuja na ideas, tunapitisha kwenye mchakato mpaka ambapo tunawa scale up kusudi waweze kuingia kwenye hizo innovation funds za kina Funguo na nini. Kwa hiyo gap sasa hivi ina watu wengi ambao pia wanahitaji msaada. Nafikiri ndio hicho Joakim anachokizungumzia. Sasa Tume ya Taifa ICT Commission wako kwenye mkakati. Mimi ni mshauri elekezi pale kwenye Tume ya Tehama. Wanafungua soft center Dar es Salaam, itakuwa ilipokuwa Sumatra zamani. Na nafikiri wenyewe ingalau sasa hivi wana program accelerator program ya kwao, lakini watakuja kuangalia kusaidia hawa vijana. Wanafungua kwenye mikoa 7 hapa nini mainland bara, Tanzania bara, kwenye mikoa 7 watafungua hizo centers na mikoani kabisa. Na nia yake ni kuangalia vijana kwenye hivyo pamoja na accelerator program, lakini kuangalia vijana ambao wanakuja kusudi wakina Serengeti waweze kuwachukua na kuwawezesha zaidi kuwapeleka mbele. Ukishapata ile seed funding ya kwanza, accelerator kwa kuchukua, then sasa unakwenda kwenye kitu kinaitwa series 1 funding, ambapo unaelekea kuwa kwenye IPO au kwenye masuala ya VC. Joakim, mlikuwa nataka kuongezea swali?
Changamoto kubwa ambayo tuko nayo sio tu sisi ambao ni startups, Tanzania kwa ujumla. Hatupati hatuna source of right information za biashara, uwekezaji, ndio hizo investments, lakini pia hizi issues za startups. Lakini hizi trainings, kwa sababu kama mafunzo ambayo nimepata kwenye Imbeju, wapi watu wengine wanaweza kuyapata? Watu wanajuaje kama kuna pre-seed, kuna seed, na kuna hizo angels investors, how to scale up, mtu ameshaanza labda scale up. Yani kuna vitu vingi, na vitu gani vinahitajika, the requirements. Hizi platforms ziko chache. Kama kuna moja inafanyikaga ya founders, mimi nipo kila Jumamosi, tunakutana founders mbalimbali, ni Google Meet, tunakutana mbalimbali. Mara kwanza tulifanya na mtu wa dawa mkononi, some sort of dawa mkononi, kama nitakuwa nimekosea jina lile, lakini tulikuwa naye. Tukao tunafanya ile, tulijifunza vingi, yeye alianza vipi mpaka akapata hiyo the idea na akapata funds, akatupitisha, tumemuuliza maswali. Hizo platform ndo tunazihitaji kwenye nchi yetu, sio tu za hizi za online, lakini tupate hata za mainstream. vipindi vya TV. Mimi niko kwenye media industry kwa miaka hapo. Nimejifunza vitu vingi, lakini sijasomea, lakini being ku manage media, nimejifunza vitu vingi, nimekutana na watu wengi kwenye industry, najifunza, na mimi pia natengeneza vipindi, na moja ya vipindi ndo kama hivi ambavyo nataka nifanye, vya startups. Kwa hiyo ni platform ambazo zinatakiwa ziwe nyingi mno. Kubwa tuweze kuwapatia watu wapate information, the right information. Watu wapate the source of right information ni changamoto. Lakini pia training kwa ajili ya startups, watu wapate hizo, ili kuandaa jinsi gani ya kupata hizo funds kutoka kwa watu mbalimbali, investors mbalimbali, waweze kujua na tuweze kuwa mbali zaidi. Sasa tukiweza kupambana na hizo nchi nyingine kama Nigeria, South Africa, Egypt, Kenya. Yani kwa nini kila siku tuna lag behind? Wakina nani wanatusaidia sana, watu wa TSA, wakina Jumanne Ntambalike. Jumanne nimemjua tangu nikiwa huko mimi mwenyewe pia nimepitia Costec, nimepitia Tanzania ICT. Mimi ni mtu wenu pia ambao amenisaidia pia. Kipindi hicho huko Sultana Sijuka Finland. Mimi nimepita huko miaka ya nyuma huko 2010. So najivunia kuwa part of. Nashukuru yangu ilikuwa ni hayo tu.
Before you go, which brings me to other question in our charts. Lile, do you think, umezungumzia the 4 countries ambapo VCs wanakimbilia. Do you think the policies or the ecosystem inawafanya wakimbilia huko wasije huku baada ya mazungumzo yote haya? What is your view on that?
Nafikiri kuna mambo mengi ambayo yanachangia kwa sehemu kama Kenya, Nigeria, South Africa na Egypt kupata attention na funding. Na mimi nafikiri kwanza we are moving in the right direction, right? Lakini step by step, provided we are moving and we are accelerating, it's okay. Wakati mwingine nafikiri labda tusilalamike sana, and we should give props where things are moving. So having said that, a VC would sit in Nairobi because there is more deal flow, right? Kuna startups nyingi ambazo ataziona. Akija labda ataona within 1 week amesha scope everything that they can work with, and so it doesn't make sense to set up an office here. A founder would want a co-founder. So assuming I have a business mind or a business background and I need a co-founder, I need a tech developer who is top-notch, right? It's easy for me in Cape Town to walk down the street and get someone who is saying, okay, I'll take the risk with you. Takes me to my third point, just the appetite of risk in the market. Ni kweli kwamba sisi kama nchi kwenye mambo ya kibiashara hatuna high risk kama ndugu zetu wa Kenya kwa mfano. Sababu umemwongelea dawa mkononi, he is a medical doctor. I'm sure he had trouble convincing wazazi waliomsomesha na ndugu jamaa na marafiki kwamba badala kuchukua mshahara ana idea yake fulani hivi. So as a community or as a country, the risk appetite is a little bit low. And well, so there are many things. Kuna regulation vile that it could be better. And you've mentioned people like TSA that are actively reviewing the policies and suggesting to government where it could be fixed. Kwa hiyo tunasogea, lakini bado there's a way to go.
There's still room for improvement. You had a question? Get the microphone. I think we should be ending soon after that.
Hi, everybody. So thank you for the opportunity. So I just wanted to give out some few comments, especially on the side of startups, because I myself am running a startup. And I came to realize after interacting with a lot of VCs and a lot of people who have been in the market for a pretty long time, that apart from issues of raising money and all that, even as startups have issues that we need to address ourselves. So first of all is there's an issue of money management. Most of startups are not good in managing their finances. So I think there's a need of providing knowledge in terms of how to manage their finances. And then another thing is understanding the market. Sometimes it could be the reason why you're facing problems is that the thing that you think is a problem is not the problem to the market, if that makes sense. Another thing that I've heard a lot of VCs complain is a lot of startup founders don't have the soft skills, how to speak to people, how to present, especially for the tech startups. You'll find people are just coders, but they don't know how to present their ideas in front of millions of people and investors. So that's another thing that we should work on. There's also an issue of patience and resilience, which a lot of founders don't have. Sometimes you could find that you're getting into a market where there are already competitors who have been in the industry for a pretty long time. So removing them from the market and why you is where the issue is. So you need to be resilient and work hard. I've also realized during my period operating here in Tanzania is a lot of people operate with trust. So there is a work that us startups should work on in establishing trust so that you are able to obtain your clients in one way or another. Also, know when to change the strategy, but not the goal. Sometimes you had an idea on how to approach the market and it doesn't work, so you have to find another appropriate way on how to navigate the challenges that you're facing. Another issue is teams. Sometimes you could have a very good product, but if you have the wrong team, you cannot sell your product. But if you could, I'm not saying you do it that way, you could have a bad product, but the right team, then you might see you're selling your product. So having a proper team is very important, and know how to pick a team. You just can't work with everybody that you meet along the way. We also have an issue of taking things too personal. We are not entitled. You need to work hard. Vanessa was here and she mentioned one thing which is very important. It's not a must for you to operate in Tanzania. You can go outside Tanzania. Perhaps your luck is outside Tanzania. For Vanessa, she mentioned that she is more appreciated outside Tanzania, where a lot of people know her, and that's why she's working outside Tanzania. So that could be a strategy for you, you know. And then there was the question why countries are, I think he asked the question, why countries are choosing Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and all that. It's one from some other startup founders. They mention it's the policies, but apart from policies, it's also the Kenyans themselves, Nigerians. If you look at them, they are very aggressive. They are go-getters. They don't sit down and wait for the opportunities to come to them. They go for the opportunities. I remember a friend of mine who I met, he said, if there's no opportunity in your country, create your own opportunity. So that's something that we should ask Tanzanians in general should be doing. We should be aggressive. Let's not wait for luck. Let's not wait for somebody to come and save us. No. Just take this that you're on your own and you have to take yourself out of the water into the shore. So we need to work hard and smartly also. Okay, and then also I think the last reason could be because of experience. A lot of VCs, they know that when they go to Kenya, the return might, be big, but they don't have a lot of history in other countries like Tanzania and GG. So that could be another factor.
Okay, thank you. So what we get, create an opportunity. So with that, now we have to end because I see one by one people are walking out right now. So let's end here. If anything at all you got from this session is that you now understand what a VC is looking for, what an angel investor is looking for when it comes to say, do I take equity or do I take any debt, equity, or investment into your startup or your company. At least take that away from us, and thank you very much, Mr. Msechu, for that. With that, please give him a hand.
Thank you very much.
A big hand, and all that. Okay, that's a small hand, fine. So give me a big hand then, if not for him. Okay, thank you very much. Over to you, MC.
Thank you, Doctor, and your panelists. That was a good chit chat, and the fire was there. Jamani, habari za jioni. Good evening. Hata sauti hamna tena. I know we are tired. Tomorrow I have a few announcement, but I will not give them to you all. But what I will ask you is tomorrow we'll start at 7 because we want to finish by 9. So 7 to 8, it will be tea break. We are not going to have a tea break after the sessions have started. So we'll start with the tea and coffees from 7 to 8, and the sessions will start at 8:30 sharp. And we'll have a small, soft opening for, today was women and ICT, tomorrow is youth and ICT. So just delete the word women, not delete, just remove it for a while, and let's do tomorrow youth and ICT. Karibuni sana, asanteni kwa uvumilivu, Mungu awabariki, arrive safe where you are or where you are going. I wouldn't say feel at home because I don't know how your home looks like. So please feel free. Enjoy the evening. Oh, registration. For those who want to attend tomorrow's session, please register online. I gave you the website, www.taic, T-A-I-C, at ict.go.tz. Okay, T699EEJ, please can you move